Security features on gold coins. I had somebody ask the other day about what's the best security features on the gold coins. So I tried to answer best I could. I think the question they had was which coin has the best security features. And to my knowledge, this here modern Britannia. This one here's what year we got. We look at her. Anyway, I believe it's from 2021. From 2021 to now, they changed to this here design. And we look at her. They got a few security features on it. Probably more than I even can list off here. But one of the first ones you see them waves. It's kind of that micro engraving. A lot of them had to do with micro engraving. But the way them waves, and it's harder to see on video, but in person, as you move them waves really look like they moving, kind of. And that's one of the security features, because it's take a special kind of, I don't know, laser engraving or something to do that. And then you see this little round part there. That thing kind of like a one of them hologram. You ever had the little sticker in the Cracker Jack box? You move it this way and that, different picture come up. You see it there, it's a lock. And then let's see, we turn it just the right way. It's hard to get it on video like it. There we go. It turns, I believe, to a Triton. Let me look with my eyes. Well, my eyes. Some of these things, it'd be helpful if you got you a loop or one of them magnifying glass. But that's a few security features. Then it's got some other features. I believe it's got some little micro text around. Let's see if we can make it. Got a little small text there. And that shield there, I believe it's that shield. It's got something. Oh no, see, right around the rim there, you see that? Some of that little bitty writing all around there. Like I said, some of this, it'd be better to have you a magnifying glass, because just your eyes, you can't see it. And I believe it's some Latin writing, something about security and protection or something. That feller, I forget your name. There's a feller he knows a lot about a lot of coins. He'd probably chime in. I'm trying to get him to start a channel up, because he knows a lot of all these facts. He seemed to know all of them. But anyway, there's a British Britannia. And so, to my knowledge, this here coin got the most security features of a coin that I know of, the modern one. Now, we get the older style, you can see kind of got more like the radial lines. Probably they still kind of the same thing. It'd be hard to duplicate, hard to copy unless you got the right machine. And I don't know, this here side ain't really got, maybe the texture might give you something, but really it's this here from 2021 on that where you really gonna get the security features. Kind of got the same design, but I like this here newer one. So that's one of the reasons I really like this Britannia. It's got a lot of built-in security with the security features. And we'll go with another one. I said next to that probably be this here maple leaf. Let's get her up close. For one, it's got some of these micro, what they call the radial lines. Now, one thing, it makes it real pretty. Makes it kind of like a diamond, little cuts and all. It really gives it a shine to it. Plus, they said it keep it from getting scratched up like the older one. But you see that little maple leaf there? Got a little micro, what they said. It's a maple leaf inside a maple leaf. We'll see if we can get her to zoom in enough we can see that. Looky there. I can't hold her still. But inside that, it's got the year. You can look at, make sure it matches up. Let's see, I can never remember. There we go. They flip like the British ones. This here the 2021. So, inside that there, it's gonna have a 21. That's a couple security features. Maybe not quite as many as the Britannia. Got the micro engraving in them radial lines. But that's 2 coins for you. Got some good security features. And the nice thing is they generally look cheaper than American Gold. It's here the Gold Eagle, the modern one. Well, it's a Type 1, so it ain't the most modern, but now it does have a security feature. Let's see, this is 2004. And to me, a security feature kind of silly, a little bit, but I reckon you call it a security feature. Let's see if we can even catch it on camera. A little easier to catch with your eyes. Let's see. What they got is a missing reed. And it's hard to even find it. This in here might be fake. No, it's real. Actually, I'm not sure when they come up with that. It might have been later. I thought I seen it earlier. I think I see it there. Done found me a fake. Yeah, I don't know when they come up with. I'll have to look that up. But they got a missing reed, what they said on some of these here. $20. Some of these here Gold Eagles. So that's a security feature on that. And then Buffalo ain't really got any security feature. It ain't got that I know of, it ain't got a missing reed or anything like that. So, but one thing I want to mention is, these things have security features. One, anything could be copied, so they could copy that security feature if they got the right machine. Of course, it'd be complicated, and if they change it around, they'd have to keep changing their machine. So I reckon most copies ain't gonna do something like this. If you look at most of these, even like I seen some fake maple leaves, and they look fake right off. And, radial lines are not radial. They don't look good at all. So them security features do help out. The little wavy lines, stuff like that. But one thing I want to mention, I thinking the same thing when I first got into gold. Well, how do I make sure it's real? There's a lot of security features just built into gold itself. And I did a few videos of how to test your gold. You can weigh it up and measure it. That's a cheap, easy way. You can take it. We see, I don't really like to put the 24 karat on the. You can take something like that and take your little pencil and do the ping test. I did a video on that. They've got apps. You can even check it on the app. Do a little ping test. They got the little pocket pinger. I want to get me one of them. Seemed like a good thing, especially for the little 1/10 ounce, hard to hold on your finger. You got the ping test, you got weight and measurement. You got thing like a Sigma. I bought me a Sigma, and I'll show it later. I did video on that. If you're getting the gist of this, and they probably a video on it. If I didn't do it, somebody else probably did one. So there's several ways to verify your gold. So in my mind anyhow, nowadays, back when I first got into it, I wanted a security feature. And I thought that's neat. And I still think it's nice to have. That's one of the reasons I think this Britannia really kind of undervalued. People don't, to me it ought to be kind of standard. The security features like they got here. US ought to do something like that. All the rest of them, I have to say that Royal Mint did a good job on that. I think they about top. So, my opinion, yeah, they ought to have a security feature. It's here $3,000 a coin. You want to make sure it's good, and you like to do it at a glance. But even with the security features, it's still $3,000, and you ought to make sure that not only the security feature is real, but that everything else check out. That it's somebody didn't just fake the security feature. So, well, there is these coins. Them two, I'd say, probably got the best security, and the best one would be that modern Britannia. Don't just rely on the security features. If you're going to buy gold, you're going to be into it, and you figure out how you can verify it. Number one, I'd go to a reputable place to buy it. Don't go buying off just a feller at the back of his trunk. You might get robbed there, for one, but if you're going to do that, you better know what you're doing. And if you're going to do that, you better figure it out. But to start off with, I'd stick with some place that's got a reputation, got a good reputation. Some place that, if they selling fake coins, they gonna ruin their reputation. So they got a little incentive to, even if they was to sell you something fake and you found it out, and at least maybe you could get your money back, or they'd make it right. So that'd be my number one step. Buy from reputable place, especially when you're starting out. The other thing is get your education. And the way that, they said there's a few ways to learn. You can learn from your mistakes. And if you're smart, you learn from your mistakes. And they said you can learn from somebody else's mistakes. And if you're really smart, you learn from somebody else's mistakes. Don't have to make them for yourself. Or if you ain't smart, you never learn, even when you make a mistake. Well, I ain't too smart, but I try to learn from my mistakes, and occasionally I try to avoid making my own mistake by learning from other people's mistakes. So, people made mistakes by buying fake gold. So what you gonna do? Well, you need to figure out how to figure out the gold is real. Because people been trying to make fake gold ever since they've been having real gold. They got fool's gold. They've been trying to turn the lead to gold. And they still trying to do it. And they got fancier ways to do it, but they ain't still figured out how to make gold. The only gold is gold. So, in the gold itself, there's security features. Gold has a specific weight, and nothing else matches up. And there's a way they figured out, well, we can put this kind of metal in the middle of the gold, and we can put gold on the outside, and it'll be the right weight. Well, it'd be the right weight, but it still had to use gold for one to look right, because that metal don't look nothing like gold. That's tungsten. And when they do that, well, it ain't gonna ring true. You do the ping test, it's gonna fail that. And you do one metalytics test, it's wrong. There's a few other tests you can do, sliding it down a magnet. And there's some, like I said, there's a lot of ways to fake one aspect of the gold, but if you do several different things, you weigh it, you ping it, you run it through the metalytics. Those are ways you can, with using multiple things, you can avoid fakes. Of course, I like to watch that there Silver Dragons. I really like them Harry coin shop videos. That Harry and Adrian. And I like the advice he said. He said, use all your senses. You know, you got eyes. Look at the coin. Don't just buy it. You know, you're going to buy a coin. Look at her close. One thing you want to see how you like the coin. Is it ugly? Is it pretty? But beyond that, is it real? You looking at that coin, you seen a few. You seen one of these eagles, and you looking at that coin and it just looked wrong. Well, that tell you something. If it looks wrong, they said if it walked like a duck and it talks like a duck, waddle like a duck, it probably got feathers. Well, if that eagle looks like a duck, you probably ought to run from that, and probably a duck. You want to check the eagle's feathers, check the eagle, check old Lady Liberty. Does she look like a lady or a skeleton? She looked kind of ugly. That's probably an ugly coin. And if that coin is ugly, even if it's real, maybe you just decide, I don't want to buy that one. That's an ugly one. I want a pretty one. You know, of course, some of them are. Some of them fakes, they look pretty. They might make one like this look real pretty. Maybe it's just plated. Once you put one in your hand, you feel the weight of it. And you know you put a few of them in your hands. You put one in your hand, it feels a little weird. Maybe it feels light, just feels less dense. Might be the right weight, but if they put copper in there, it's gonna be thicker. It's gonna be bigger round. So, feel it. Does it feel right? If it don't feel right, don't buy it. That's my opinion. Maybe you get one, trying to buy one. I had one feller trying to sell me. I'll use this example again. I'm trying to buy another proof like this here. And probably not the best place. It's Facebook Marketplace. And he had it for sale, and he kept changing his price and changing we went to meet, and he didn't show up. And then he said, well, I didn't see your text and this and that. It didn't smell right to me. Something about it didn't smell right. So if it don't smell right, don't buy it. I think that's what Harry means by use all your senses. Something sounds off when they're talking. They maybe keep changing their story. Oh, I need to sell it. Kids in hospital. Grandma died. Papa's in prison. Got to go get him. Keep changing the story up. Well, something ain't sounding right there. You know, use your ears. Use your eyes. Use your nose. Use your gut. gut tells you this feller's a crooked guy. Even if it's a real gold, maybe he stole it. Don't buy it. That's my opinion. Don't matter how good the deal is. If you something telling you not to do it, don't do it. There's more gold. There's another one right around the corner. And sometimes our senses, we don't even know. You know, we don't even know why we're feeling that way, but there's something to it. So that's a little free extra. We're talking about security features, but along with them security features, the best security feature you got is your brain. And, you know, just use common sense, which ain't too common. And you want to, if it sounds too good to be true, they said it probably is. So don't get greedy. There'll be another coin. They made millions of them. They still making them. So don't worry about missing one. Kind of like baseball. You can't swing at every one. So look for the right deal. Look for the right one. If it's the wrong one, let it pass and you'll find the right one. Anyway, I hope that helps somebody. You want to know about security features. I think it's a good thing to know. Biggest thing I'd say helped me, well, one, YouTube has helped me out. And then reading up, learning what's the difference, different size. Is here like a 30 millimeter. It's a little fatter and rounder. It's here like a 32. You might have a, what I got, something like that, thinner, like I think a 37. So just reading up, knowing different coins, take a look at them. Go into a coin shop. That's a good thing to do. Even if you ain't buying, I don't know, I don't think you'll mind too much. Maybe you buy you something silver. If you ain't got, don't want to buy gold, maybe you buy you a little bit of silver. But take a look at that. Take a look at the coins. They said you ought to hold them like that, by the rim. You know, respect his coins. Don't be all throwing them around. Don't ping them up. Probably if you do, you better ask him before you ping it. I wouldn't do that. Not in the coin shop. But look at the coins. Ask if you can. Maybe you got one in a slab. Something like that. Take a look at that $10 Indian. You look at the coin. Something like this. That's another. Maybe it's a security feature. Something in a slab. Look at your slab. See how it's sealed up. That's some other things you can look. You know, if it is in a slab, it's a slab reel. Anyway, that's some idea on security features, and that we done went on long enough about it. But if any of y'all got any extra info on security features, just put her in the comments. Anybody got I said something wrong, well, just correct me in the comments. And I appreciate it and hope that helped. That's a little video. All right then, bye-bye.